Hey everyone, Angry Spork here. Season 3 of Young Justice, Episode 13, True Heroes. Final episode of the first half of the season. Because I guess that's how they're doing streaming these days. Anyway, it's Halloween, and of course Forager is going to go to a high school dance costume party as himself, without his glamour charm. His shell has mostly healed, and they keep pushing the whole being a freak is cool thing, which, you know, it's so easy to say that in a cartoon, even one that's kind of edged to an older audience. It's so much easier to say that, but when you try living it, it don't work so easy. Anyway, the party's gonna have to wait because Grayson has a lead on Tara, and that leaves Halo and Sai behind because they, Sai might act up and Halo will need to ease him down. Well, everyone else is going to be heading to Greater Bialia. On the way, Nightwing informs them that the good goggles they found, they're programmed to check the wearer for the metagene, and if they are a meta, it influences them to go to a nearby depot for collecting. In cooperation with the Justice League, because that's who McGann gave the information to first, they're going to strike the depots simultaneously with the League, the team, Nightwing's team, and so none of them can alert any of the others. McGann made sure that she and Nightwing's team got the Bialia gig because after Batman's recon in Santa Prisca, it's Bialia where Tara was pinpointed to being. The guy we saw her crush under a rock worked on the good goggles and procured a depot which acquired a 15-year-old girl matching Tara's description, so that's how they figured she's there. Back in Happy Harbor, Violet is panicking because Brion is gone and she's worried, what's going to happen to him. She's worried about him. Jace mentions she had a daughter, but she says it's not a particularly nice story, so she doesn't really get into it. And, maybe if she brushed her hair like she used to do with her daughter, it would calm her down. And, she got a little creepy. Jace says, "You'll be my little girl for tonight." And not just that, it's like what she said, it's how she said it, and how she proceeds to brush Violet's hair. It's just, it's kind of off somehow. It just says it like she's on the verge of a nervous breakdown, but there was nothing really going on to instigate it. So she's gonna have a psychotic break and then declare Violet is her daughter, so you're calling her daughter's name or something. I don't know, but it just felt a little off. She asks Victor to give them some space, and I thought he was just going to leave the house, but no, he just goes into the kitchen. And as Jace is brushing Violet's hair, his cybernetics go purple. Bad timing. Ship lands in Bialia in camo mode, and a beetle drone is sent off that eventually shows them a secret hideout full of people wearing Court of Owl masks, and Queen Bee's enforcers like Simon, the Terror Twins, and so forth. And they're all gathered for a big meta fight club type thing. And Tara, who's called Tara officially, is up for her match. So they start to formulate a plan while in Happy Harbor. Sai's malice is picked up by Wolf, who finally does something other than sleep and lunges at him, just as Sai turns off the lights with his, cybernetics. But it's the first thing Wolf's done all season, and he just gets smacked down. Maybe that's why it's sad, but also I don't like seeing dogs get injured in TV and movies. It just feels wrong. It's one of those things the makers of the show probably know are going to get you, especially if you're a dog person. But anyway, Jace shields Violet from a blast, and oddly enough, Halo's aura isn't working. Sai, under the influence of the father box, says that the mother box portion of her can't handle human emotions, something Jace had actually mentioned earlier. And he just punches her. Bam! It's one of those, like, punch to the camera type of things. In Bialia, Terra's fight begins, and she dodges some pyrokinetic attacks, and the team infiltrates with, owl masks. It's Black Lightning, Artemis, and Geoforce. Simon begins to sense Brion's anger when it looks like Tara's going to be injured, but Jeff, very slyly sends an electrical shock through the guardrails and takes Simon out. Of course, he's followed closely by his girlfriend, who I think is Rampage. Very large and super powerful woman, but they don't mention her name, and I can't remember. I'm pretty sure it's Rampage. Tara loses, and there's an auction for her after the fight, and Artemis manages to bid the highest. So they escort her to a limousine, where Brion unmasks. She recognizes, oh, brother, and they hug, and it's all nice, and the limo turns into ship, and they fly away. Meanwhile, the side story with Halo plays out much like a horror movie. She's being chased and taunted by Victor, and he fights back a little, just enough to let Halo run out of a room she was hiding in, but the father box does take over again. But fortunately, she has something that overrides her fear, a need to help others, not just herself, not just Dr. Jace, but also Cyborg. And she manages to Halo cleanse Victor, while elsewhere, Tara loses her mind control tag, and she had already heard about her parents' deaths. The team goes to help more of the kids. Forager's going to stay behind as a getaway driver because his shell has grown back, but it's not quite hard enough for combat, and Brion and Tara's going to stay behind with him. Cutting power to the facility doesn't work, so Ship just opens fire as a nice big old distraction. And Simon's goons are already on alert. There's some fun dialogue as the team engages Simon's other cronies, like between Superboy and Icicle Jr. in regards to, Miss Martian, because they had posed as Terra twins in jail, and oddly enough, Superboy mentions he's engaged to Miss Martian. But hilariously, Icicle Jr.'s like, congratulations! I don't know. It's hilarious, even though, like, why would you say that? Why would you bring this up? I've given flack to some stories for not, like, doing a good job of keeping secret identities safe, and this is kind of in that vein, but it's like, it was fun. What can I say? Let's see. Whew. We get a lot of good fights, really cool fight scenes as the other prisoners are released. Tara, on the ship, she insists that she and Brion go help the other slaves. And soon enough, that's what they do. They show up, and they work very well together, even though this is, like, the first time they've worked together, and it's not like they've trained. They don't do too much. I mean, mostly they erect a large barrier for the others to escape. One last baddie remains. I think it's Rampage. Again, they don't mention her name. And she's taken down soon enough because Black Lightning just cuts loose. And just really pours on the electricity, knocking her out, then joining everyone else on the ship. They later reconnoiter in Happy Harbor. They've taken the other kids to the youth center in New Mexico. And, the other teams were successful in their missions as well. And when Nightwing's squad meets back up with Halo and Jace and Cyborg, I guess, this final Halo cleanse is now more permanent. Somehow she knows that. It does feel like a little bit of a cheat, but it's like it would get monotonous if Cyborg was just going all purple evil all the time. So Tara forgives Dr. Jace for her part in her abduction, and knowing that the doctor did it under duress and under threat of Tara's own death. And then Brion officially calls Violet his girlfriend, and now they've got some house cleaning to do. So we go back to Star City, where Halo is still sleeping above the couch just as well, because Tara is sleeping on the couch, so it's like a bunk bed without the bunk. So Tara gets up while everyone else is asleep, and she sends a text to Deathstroke and Santa Prisca saying, "I'm in," because you just couldn't help yourselves, guys, could you? You just couldn't help yourselves. Another freaking... Well, of course, it's Tara. What else are you going to do? This time, the credits are over Wolf while he's sleeping inside RV mode ship. I don't know if that's meta, but it feels like it's supposed to be meta. The episode had a very appropriate horror movie feel to it. It had some really good fight scenes, and like, it's like, even if I've never read the Judas Contract, but I did watch Teen Titans, the animated series, and I am aware of the whole Tara being a traitor thing, and I remember watching Linkara's retrospective on the Teen Titans and how, it just kind of came out of nowhere that she hated the Titans and so forth and was willing to betray them. Maybe that's because why I just didn't really see it coming, even though I probably should have. But they play it very nice. It works, and I really look forward to when they release the rest of the series. It's been very good so far. Granted, I didn't like everything, but most of it is nitpicks, and I'm willing to give Greg Weisman the benefit of the doubt, because he's brought in consistently good work, and he has earned the benefit of the doubt, whereas a certain comic book publisher has repeatedly screwed up in the dumbest ways possible and no longer deserves the benefit of the doubt. And even when it looks like they might earn a little bit of it back, they try new stuff to tear it all down. So, when those come out, I'll probably end up doing vlogs about them too. I will see you then. Take care.